involved?
I think, honestly, it's the best place in the world to do that, to get involved. I've often told people that if I was growing up or getting involved in somewhere like New York or LA or Philadelphia, everything's so entrenched there that you kind of have to be somebody or know somebody, or it's really hard to just kind of say you want to help and really get involved real quick and get hands-on. I have always found an open ear whenever you talk to people and tell them, hey, I just want to help out. What do you think would be a good fit for me? And I was surprised that the mayor asked me to be the president of the park board, but at the same time, that just shows you Dallas. I mean, if you're willing to work hard and your heart and mind are in the right place, then people are going to tap you on the shoulder and ask you to do pretty big things.
Now, when the mayor taps you to be the park board president, he didn't give you much time, right? This was like a deal, and you had about 5 minutes to take it.
He took me out to breakfast. He told me he wanted to talk about three things, and Scott Goldstein and Vinay Hammond, who work in his office, were both there. Yes. So he talked about the first two things, and then we were all finishing up eating, and then the third thing was, so I also I want you to be the park board president. So, but I'm about to leave, so I need you to tell me now, yes or no. And I kind of caught me off guard, and when I told him yes, he was like, okay, great. Scott and Vinay will take care of everything. See you guys later. Bye. And he was gone.
You know, you brought up Vinay, and I think about Vinay, also a former city attorney. Think about Adam McGew, our council member, who's also a former city attorney. And, you know, there's some really great folks who have had that job and have gone on to do some great things. Can you talk to folks just about even what community prosecutors do and why that's important to our city?
Yeah, small world. Vinay has my old city phone, so people still call her BlackBerry, and we didn't even know each other, but she ended up with my old phone number. So community prosecution is a arm of the Dallas City Attorney's Office that works in the community. So we don't prosecute the community. A lot of people used to get confused about that, but we prosecute on behalf of the community, and we were spread out through parts of town that needed a lot of help. When I was there, I was CDBG grant funded, so it was a federal grant that determined a certain part of town needed some help with all kinds of things, quality of life crimes mostly, code violations, just things that drag down neighborhoods, and so we were there to help.
That's really cool, Bobby. And, you've had a long history of service, and now you've been in this role about a year, going on a year?
Year and a half now, yeah.
Year and a half now. What have you found to be some of the most interesting things about Dallas parks?
So I didn't know before this how independent the park board was. I've learned a lot about it since. The park board was created in 1905 when the State Fair Association gave the city of Dallas what we now call Fair Park. So the State Fair used to own those grounds, and in 1904 they said, City of Dallas, we're going to gift this to you, and we're going to make it a park. And the city said, wow, this is kind of more than we know what to do with, so we're going to create this board, and they will have the authority to oversee all our parks. And so it's been a 100-some-odd year journey since then. We do not... the park board has independent authority over the park director. So we hire the director and set his salary, then he hires his staff. It's kind of like a mini city council, because the council does the same thing with the city manager. Mm-hmm. And we have 15 positions, one for every council member, and the park board president is appointed by the mayor. I didn't realize how many parks we have. We have over 300 parks, thousands of acres. Things like Clyde Warren Park, the Dallas Zoo, the Dallas Arboretum, Fair Park, obviously, all the way down to Teetsy Park, Kid Springs Park. The thing that I think I've been trying to reiterate to folks is most of the time the park board is in the news for politics and kind of there was probably someone's angry at someone, or there was some sort of political drama involved. But in reality, our day-to-day is making memories. We've been opening our 3 new regional aquatic centers, and at the opening for Pleasant Grove, we had about 200 to 300 people waiting in line to get into this facility. We haven't built a new swimming pool in Dallas in over 50 years, so it was important to me and the rest of the board to do that. And when you saw the smiles on these kids' faces, that really makes everything else worth it. So I think that we're in so many different areas, not just parks, recreation, after school programs, summer programs. I mean, even education. So it runs the gambit, but it's really the best things the city does, in my opinion, are in parks, and it's really where I think people can see their tax dollars at work.
Yeah, it's exciting to see all the new amenities for sure. Close to our house, Mrs. Trimble is on the Lake Highlands Junior Women's League, and they just helped fund in part a new all-access playground at Flagpole Hill.
Yeah. Yeah, we broke ground on that a few months ago, thanks to the hard work of folks from the Jordan Spieth Foundation, the councilman Adam McGew over there, and his park board representative, who's the vice president of the park board, Rob Stewart. It was real important for them to get that project going, and it had bond dollars involved. I mean, the voters overwhelmingly voted last year to say we needed to fund parks, and we got a lot of bond dollars, so we're going to start putting that to work. So you're going to see a lot of things over the next few years popping up around town.
What does that look like? I mean, you talk about making memories, and to me, some of the things I remember the most are openings like Cummings Recreation Center. You know, that was a big thing when that opened, and I want to talk more about the Aquatic Center, but I just wanted to look at the needs that are being filled. My daughter, she spent some time at one of the summer camps, and so how's the park board see those needs being met moving forward? And a lot of that is capital improvement. Yeah,
so I think I had a few goals when I started in this role. Number one was make sure the park department and the city is taken care of with capital needs for the foreseeable future. We accomplished that in two ways. One was the bond campaign. Park board and me and the department fought really hard to get more dollars than we were initially allocated, and we knew the voters wanted it, and they approved it. So that was one thing. The next is a parkland dedication ordinance, which we got passed earlier this year, and that will go into, as you see Dallas get more dense and more high rises go up, then some money from that will go into a fund to provide for future parks. So we've taken care of our capital needs, in my opinion. We'll still need to have bond packages every 5 to 7 years with a solid amount for parks. But the biggest thing we need to do is take care of our operating costs. The after-school programs, the summer programs, those are things that I think people need to remember as education gets cut at the state level, that it's not going to just be DISD that needs to step up. It's going to be every part of the city. And so we really need to make sure that every year in the budget, people are telling their council members that these programs are important.
This is Shawn Williams, Ryan Trimble, Deconstructing Dallas. We have Bobby Abtahi with us. He is president of the park board. And Bobby, you mentioned the aquatic centers that opened this past summer, and I can definitely share with you firsthand. Well, I can't share with you firsthand, but my kids shared with me firsthand that they enjoyed the new center in Pleasant Grove, the Cove. And so can you talk to some of our folks who may not be aware of these great new facilities that just came on board here in our city?
Yeah, so we just had 3 go online. They will be open from now until Labor Day. It's Labor Day this next week, right? Mm-hmm. I always get Labor Day and Memorial Day confused. So they'll be open till Labor Day every weekend, starting opening at noon. Admission is free. This is our soft opening for our first 3. We're going to open a second set of 3 next summer at the beginning of the season. That will be Lake Highlands, Teetsee, and Kidd Springs. And these are essentially competition level swimming pools, but they've also got 2 water slides, an open and closed slide, a splash ground, and the first 3 we open have a lazy river. And really what I think the real importance behind these is we're really getting our butts kicked when it comes to amenities like these for families by the suburbs.
Yep.
And we haven't built a new swimming pool in Dallas in over 60 years, and I think it was time for us to admit that this is what we need to do. This is what we need to make sure we have, things that families want, something that you can go do with your kids. I have one daughter and another kid on the way, and it's hard to find things to do these days, especially for an affordable price. So this was one that was something important to me to get going. Another thing is in southern Dallas, you would not believe the numbers when it comes to kids not knowing how to swim and how that translates to just some tragedies. So we're going to teach kids how to swim. We're going to make sure families have fun things to do. And most of all, we're going to make sure that there's something to do to keep you cool in the hot Dallas sun.
And you've got great instructors. We utilize Kids Springs Park pool, and we've gone from level 1 all the way up through level 5 this year for my daughter at Kids Springs. So, and very affordable, $40, for 2 weeks worth of lessons. So that's something that I like is going to be continuing, because I asked you before, I was like, where's it going to go, the new splash park? And you were like, it's where the pool is, because it's going to have a regular sized pool that's part of the facility. So I'm looking forward to getting out and maybe getting on a slide. Maybe that'd be a good Deconstructing Dallas project before Labor Day would go.
Deconstructing Dallas field trip.
Yeah, that'd be a good field trip.
That's great. Well, we're going to take a quick break, Bobby. We'll be right back. Deconstructing Dallas, Ryan Trimble, Shawn Williams. Stick with us. It's the most wonderful time of year. The start of the college football season, of course. And here in Dallas, there's no better place to be than SMU. From the pregame festivities on the boulevard to the action on the field inside Gerald J. Ford Stadium, there's something for everybody. And right now, you can get in on the action with your very own season ticket package for just $99. You've heard me talk about this deal before, friends, so what are you waiting for? The home opener is Friday, September 7th at 7 p.m. when the Mustangs play host to the dreaded TCU Horned Frogs. So be sure to call 214-SMU-GAME or visit www.smumustangs.com and lock in your $99 season tickets today. We'll see you on game day. Pony up.
We are back, Deconstructing Dallas. Shawn Williams, Ryan Trimble with Bobby Abtahi, president of the City of Dallas Park Board. Bobby, you are have been an advocate for Fair Park. You were the president of the Friends of Fair Park Board. Is that correct?
Chairman of the board. Yeah.
You were chairman of the board.
Yeah.
And that was before you became Park Board president. So now you're, again, still knee-deep in Fair Park. So just kind of on a personal level, why the interest for you in Fair Park over the years?
Just growing up in Dallas and having gone to Fair Park every year as a kid, and then going on to the University of Texas at Austin, the greatest university in the entire state of Texas.
That will probably be cut. I am pretty sure that will be cut.
I'm staring at an A&M diploma, so I had to call it out. And just the traditions that go along with Texas OU and the State Fair and everything, it's always had a special place in my heart. Lately, I'm starting to worry as Dallas grows that the nostalgia that we all have for Fair Park is not being transferred on to the new people who are moving here and to the next generation of kids. So we've just been trying to make sure that we revitalize Fair Park and put the park back into Fair Park, and so that another generation of people can have those same memories, because like I told you before, we're in the business of making memories, and I want some more Fair Park memories.
So give us the big picture vision of what Fair Park should look like, will look like. Fill us in on the overview.
Okay, so first off, I think everyone agrees we need more activity at Fair Park.
Right.
It needs to be a 365 days a year type place.
Absolutely.
I think everyone also agrees that we need less asphalt and more park. We need to put the park back into Fair Park. So if you want an example, I think the best example would be Balboa Park in San Diego. That type
one of Ryan's favorite cities,
one
by
of
the
my
way.
favorite cities.
Really?
I love it.
My sister lives there. I'm going there in a few weeks. So we need to green up the park. We need to restore those historic buildings, and then we need to put people in those buildings, because historic buildings on their own don't do much. So we need to reactivate the park. There's a proposal currently from a well-known national operator of fairgrounds, along with a well-known park designer whose name's Dan Biederman, who worked on Clyde Warren Park and Bryant Park, just to name a couple. And then they've got a local nonprofit board headed by Darren James. They're called Fair Park First, is the nonprofit. And so they